Now we have sound. That's much better. It's good to have sound. So, like I said when I first started this, and you couldn't hear me. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know what's going on. Essentially, my name is Aaron, also known as Grishno here on YouTube. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, then you might be familiar with it. You might also be familiar with the fact that I haven't done a lot of videos recently. So I wanted to just start off, I think, by saying sorry about that. Thanks, Gwen. Thanks. Gwen also wants to say that she's sorry too. It's not that I don't want to make videos. I love making videos. I'll talk about it a little bit today, about how important some of those videos are to me, and just the process of being able to make them. The platform is good. I don't know. We'll get into it. Don't worry. But it's been really hard to do that recently for a couple reasons, and I don't think people on here have been kept in the loop about why. So I wanted to come on and share a little bit about that today. First off, hey to the 3 people who are watching. Nice to see you on here. Number one goalie. Hey, thanks. So I'm gonna try and keep an eye on chat. I'm watching it right here. So if you want to talk to me, just hit me up. Hit me up in the live chat, and we'll, this is the interactive thing, right? It's live. So what's been going on? If you watch my most recent video, which sort of a departure from a lot of the content I've made in the past. Hey, Stellar. It was a video that was of a speech I gave in a public speaking class that I was taking. Hey, Martha. And it was probably one of the best speeches I've ever given in my life, which is why I thought I would upload it here to YouTube, just to share that experience and that excitement, and that the whole premise of going to a public speaking class and saying don't give your speech. I thought it was pretty gutsy, and I was really happy to do it. It went off really well. I got really high marks on that speech, and so glad a couple people in chat saw it and that they enjoyed it. But it sort of gets to one of the reasons why I haven't been able to make a lot of videos on here, and that is that I've been in school. If you've been watching my channel, which again, a lot of you have, and then you probably know that I've been in school this is my 5th year. 5th year in school. In college. Yeah, that's Gwen in the background. You'll see Gal and Gwen walking around. And so it's my 5th year in school. I graduated with my undergraduate 2 years ago. I was 31 when I finally completed my undergraduate. And I graduated with honors from a women's college. And I can't even tell you how exciting that was, how amazing that was. I have to thank my wife for that. I have to thank all the support that I got on here. The Point Foundation, who supported me. It was a monumental lift, not just for me, but for everyone around me, to get me to that point. And I got there and I said, you know what? I'm not done. I'm gonna keep going. And I kept going, and so now I'm at the end of this semester, so by December, basically, in next month, I will have 3 credits. That's 1 class left until I have a joint master's in business administration and public policy. It's a 3-year graduate degree, and I'm killing it. I've got straight A's so far. I'm really excited about it. Wow, 11 people are watching. Hi, you guys. Chat with me and stuff. And also watch my cats in the background. So I at this point have a 4.0, which is insane. When I was in school, when I was 18, I basically failed out. Most of the credits, when I tried to transfer them in, were so bad with the grades or they were such remedial classes that they were like, yeah, we're not taking this. We're not gonna do it. You gotta do it again. Um, so I'm really happy to be to the point where I'm so close to done that I can almost taste it, and it tastes sweet. It tastes sweet. So that's exciting. But this semester, I'm up to my eyeballs in it because I'm at the upper echelons of this course, right? This is a 3-year master's program, and I'm taking the last classes I'm ever gonna take in it. So I'm taking all these really intense classes. There's one class I want to show you. This stack of paper. This is 3 classes worth of reading. 3 classes. Like 3 class periods for one course worth of reading. So I'm a little busy this semester is really what I'm trying to say. So that's one reason why I'm busy. Also, hey Ashley and hey Zosa. Nice to see you in the chat today. So that's one of the reasons that I've been so busy this semester is that I'm just up to my eyeballs in school, and it's really hard. Like, I've been working all day today on, and this is gonna bore you, cross-sector partnership evaluation. That's the topic that I've spent like the last 6 hours just going really deep into. And it's exciting to me. I love it, but it does mean that I don't have a lot of free time. The other piece that I've been doing, and I haven't talked about this a lot because it's really big, and it's public, and I don't know. That's the thing that's like sort of like I'm trying to walk the line, right? So basically, sorry, I don't know if you can hear that. My cat found a coin in the other room, and so you hear like. So this summer, I got a job, and it's the first time I've had a job. Hey Em, hey Mel. It's the first time I've had a job since I got laid off from the program that I worked at before going back to school. And if you remember from that long ago, I was working at basically my dream job. I had moved to San Francisco, and I turned the passion that I had for the trans community that I had developed through my YouTube channel into a real job, like a career. It was who gets to do that? Who gets to like support the trans community for a living? Not many people, and I felt so fortunate to be able to do that. And then it was all sort of taken away without any control. I didn't have any control over that. And that was hard. That really sucked. I think I made the best of a bad situation, but that's long story short. It's been a while since I've had like a job. My job for the last 5 years has been going to school and nailing it. And I've done a really good job at that. So what is my job? What am I doing? And this is interesting because it relates to my videos. It relates to my videos. This is the second job in a row that I've gotten that somehow relates to my YouTube videos. If you remember, there was a couple years ago, I made a video called "Transphobic Cops," and it was filmed at a community college in the Bay Area. Hey Pandora, welcome to the chat. And what had happened is I had witnessed a really, really problematic arrest of a transgender woman. The 2 officers were being incredibly rude to her, and not just in like a rude kind of way. It was in a really transphobic kind of way. So they would only refer to her. They asked specifically if she was trans, and she said yes. And then they proceeded to use male pronouns, even though they just asked. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what's up, you guys? So I'm watching this whole thing. I didn't have the wherewithal to film it. I would now. Excuse me. But I wanted to watch. I wanted to be a witness. And the cops got really aggressive towards me. They were telling me I had to leave, that I didn't have a right to be there, and they're wrong. They lied to me. I have a right to be there. You have a right to watch the cops. That is 100% legal. Comply with their directions, in that, like, if they tell you to get back, you have to get back. You can't be walking up on a crime scene and stuff, but you can be there. You can watch. And I was so angry watching these sheriff deputies traumatize this trans woman as they arrested her, that I pursued action against them. I filed complaints. I went all the way to my so first I filed complaints with the special internal affairs department, and I wrote this like big complaint. I named the officers, I was so specific. I had everything I needed, and I got back a response later that was one word. Unsubstantiated. So basically they said, yeah, the officer said that they didn't do it, so tough shit. And that sucked. So I went to my county supervisor, because the county oversees the sheriff's department, and I was like, hey, there's this problem. You should do something about it. And my county supervisor, named Miley, who I now work for, he said, hey, there's nothing I can do about that. I can't use the sheriff's budget as leverage. I'm only one person on the council, but I can, what do you think about universal preschool? And I was like, I love universal preschool. I think that's a great idea. He's like, great. I'm going to put you in touch with somebody and you'll start doing work on that. And I was like, wait, what? Did I just get a job? Yeah, I got a job. So last year I volunteered about 2-3 hours a week doing research on what it would cost to actually do universal preschool in the unincorporated areas of the county, the places that aren't cities. And I came up with a big cost-benefit analysis. I showed them what I thought it would cost for different types of options, different models. And in the end, they were like, this is fantastic. We're thinking about going to the ballot for something like this. Would you like to be involved? And I was like, wait, this wasn't just research. This could actually happen. We could do this? What? So I got brought on board full time over the summer, and I started working for the county, specifically for the Board of Supervisors, for my supervisor, as our expert on early care and education, so childcare, preschool, and before and after school programming. I'm also doing criminal justice, so I'm responsible for overseeing our violence prevention initiatives in East Oakland. That's insane. That's insane. Don't they know I'm in school still? Why are they letting me do this? I'm constantly in shock and in awe. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Jade, for the congrats on that. But I'm constantly in shock that I'm allowed to do this, that I can actually do this, because I want to tell you how worried I was when I lost my job back in 2013. I was terrified. I'd only been in California for a few years. I didn't have a huge network. I mean, I had a network in the trans community, but there aren't a lot of jobs in the trans community, and I just got laid off because of lack of funding. So there were even less jobs now. I didn't think I was going to be able to, or let me rephrase. I didn't know if I was going to be able to succeed. I was really worried that I was going to go to school, I was going to learn all these things, I was going to spend all this money, and in the end, just sort of walk away with nothing, right? And like end up back at the bottom again, end up back where I started. And now, like, it's very clear that that's not the case. And I'm ecstatic. I don't know if you can see, like, I can't stop smiling about it. And that's been amazing. That's been amazing. So those are the two things that have been really new this year for me, that have been getting in the way of having free time to make videos and stuff because I'm working and I'm going to school. You know, and that's, it's about to end. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Next semester, I only have one class, and I'm gonna have free time, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, except maybe I'll make a lot of videos. You guys might like that. So I want to talk a little bit about my job, and I hope it's not too boring, because it's something that I'm really excited about, that I've been working on. This is my second year on this, and I haven't talked about it on the channel because it's not trans related. Well, it's not like specifically trans related. Everything's trans related when you think about it. But I want to talk a little bit about this because what I'm doing is I'm developing a ballot initiative in conjunction with a whole bunch of other people. It's going to go to the ballot in June 2018 to raise $140 million. That's 9 figures annually for the next 15 years for childcare and preschool in the county. That's the thing that I get to do. You want to talk about impact? Like think about the impact of reaching thousands of kids in the county and being able to help educate them or get them a better education, better quality, more access to it. I'm going to touch so many lives with this that it's almost incomprehensible, and yet at the same time it's infinitesimally small. It's one county in one state in one country in the world. I'm barely doing anything, but at the same time it feels like I'm really making a difference. So I think, you know, a lot of that is to say, like, I want to do more. I want to do more. I have big goals for myself. I have dreams, and I want to make them real. I don't want to let my dreams be dreams. I want to make them real. And I'm doing it slowly. It's taken a long time to get to where I am. And it's going to take me even longer to get to where I want to go. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Thanks, Socia, for the congrats. I think it's cool, too, that I got this job. So that's been really the big thing that on my side, why I haven't been able to make as many videos as I want. And so now I want to shift gears a little bit now that I've given some of that and talk a little bit about why these videos are so important, why it's something that I really, really care about, and sort of what my perspective has been like on it for the last maybe 5 years, and how that's changed over time, because I've been making videos for over a decade. I was in my early 20s. I'm in my early 30s now. Like, I think I was 21 when I started making videos, or 22, 21. I don't know. It was a long time ago. I was a different person, it feels like. So I started making videos because I felt so alone. I had just moved to New York City, and I didn't know anybody. I wasn't connected to a trans community. We didn't have Facebook and things like that back then. Social networking was not really a big thing. Like, we had MySpace. That's how I moved to New York, because I met somebody on MySpace. And I just felt alone. I felt like I was losing my family at the time. I didn't have a significant other. I had friends at work, but I couldn't talk to them about being trans. Yeah, I remember those videos too, Stellar. I'm glad somebody else remembers them. But I just wanted to reach out to people and say, like, is there anyone out there like me that is feeling the same way I'm feeling, that I can talk to about it? And I found so many people who are like me out there, who I could talk to, who wanted to share this experience with me, and who were going through their own experiences that were similar to mine. It made me feel like I'm not alone. And at the same time, I got to show the whole world, anyone who would watch, that they're not alone. It was an incredible thing. And it still is. I'm gonna get something really quick because I want to show you. All right, this is a book. This is the academic book by Tobias Raun. I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name. I'm positive how you write it, but not how you say it. It's called Out Online, Trans Self-Representation and Community Building on YouTube. Look at this book. This is a real book, right? I'll go to the back, to the glossary, and Aaron Grishno, right there. That whole section is mine. That whole section in this book is about me. This whole book is just about the start of the trans community on YouTube, about how people, you can look here. A lot of people from early YouTube. Oh, I just lost her. Anyway, Charlotte or Karmatic. I don't know if a lot of people, that might be a throwback. This is her. Here we are, Karmatics. She's in here too. But it's just they interviewed a whole bunch of people who helped start the trans community on YouTube. And it's a book that people teach in college now. Like, if that doesn't say that you've changed the world, then I don't know what does. And, if you had told me when I started making videos that I was going to change the world, I wouldn't have believed you. I wouldn't have believed you even in the slightest, not even close. And yet here we are. There's been a change. And we can feel that change. We can feel that change because when I started my videos, not to get political, I'm trying not to get political as much, but President Bush was the president, and there was just no fucking way that marriage equality was going to be a thing or that trans rights were going to be a thing. It was like, I didn't start the videos out there saying like, we need rights, we need healthcare, we need this. It was just me saying like, hey, this is who I am, and this is what it's about. Like, I didn't have aspirations and dreams the way that I have now. And a lot of that has to do with the way that the world has changed. It's changed, I think, for the better. And we've seen that. We saw that with the transgender ban from Trump. The reaction to that, the negative reaction, was swift and massive. We've seen in the ruling recently where they halted that ban, an acknowledgement that it was not based on any factual evidence, that there's no evidence that trans people are somehow a hindrance to the armed forces. And would that have possibly happened in 2006? No. Like, the world has changed, and we all got to have a part in it. So if you'd have told me that I was going to have that part when I started making my videos, I don't know if I would have kept going. I don't know if I would have started. I might have been terrified or paralyzed. Like, I was able to do what I was doing because I didn't have that understanding. I didn't know I was changing the world. I wasn't trying to change the world. I was trying to find people like me. But I guess sometimes that's all it is. That's right, Allie. From the basement to where I'm at today, to the county board of supervisors. So that's also part of it. I'm trying how to express this thought because it's complicated, and so I hope that you'll bear with me on it. So I've learned a lot over the last 5 years in school. I have learned so much. If you ask me to put it down on paper, what I've learned, I couldn't even begin to start because I don't know where the knowledge I gained begins and where it ends. It's just so much a part of me at this point. It's embedded in the way that I think, in the way that I see the world, in the way that I interact with other people. It's had a really profound impact on my life, my education, but I think it's also touched on my videos too, because the videos are about my life. The videos are a big piece of my life. Over the last few years, I've come to realize what my early videos helped do, what they helped start and what they helped create, the just vastness of the impact that they've had. And it terrifies me. It's really scary to think that things I do could have that kind of an impact. And so when I sit down to make a video, I remember Ice Cold Bath. I was a bridesmaid in her wedding. But nice to buy salt thread. Nice throwback to those days. Where was I? I was somewhere. Anyway, so I think about the impact that my videos could have when I make a video. I think about the people that I could reach, and it makes me cautious. It makes me careful. It makes me, it fills me with trepidation. I can't, and I have a hard time breaking from that, you know? I have so many video ideas that I want to talk about. I have so many things where I'll experience something or I'll see something and I'll be like, I have opinions about that. I want to share them with everyone. I want to make a video about that. And then I start to think, well, now I have to go through the whole logical process of, you know, here's my position and all the things to back it up. And I have to, you know, make sure that my facts are right, because people might pull them out and, you know, try and challenge it in this way or that way. I think a lot about, like, I did a video on trans face, 10 facts about trans face. I thought it was a great video, but I used the example of trans face of Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs, because that was the one I could find clips of on YouTube really easily, and it also related to a story I was telling about when I came out to a friend. But like, I swear half of the comments that I get on that video, and I still get comments to this very day, are about that example. That I chose Silence of the Lambs because that's not a trans person. That's, you know, like it's a different kind of thing. And so I did one little teeny mistake in this video, and now that's the only thing people want to talk about, or at least that's how it feels, because that's where the comments and the energy gets directed. So it just makes it really hard now that I understand all of these different things. To feel like I can actually do a topic justice, that I can make something that I can stand by in the long term. So it adds this extra layer of complexity to it that just makes it really hard. So that's not to say like, woe is me, or I'm not going to make videos, or, you know, everything has to be perfect, because you don't want to let the perfect get in the way of the good. And we can do so much good here. But it's just something that I really struggle with from time to time, and wanted to try and express that somehow. So thanks for sticking with me on it. I see we have 19 people here. So hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. I am watching the chat, so if you want to hang out with me, if you want to ask questions or whatever, drop me a line. Say hi. Things like that. Let's see, I have a comment here from Zosia. It's hard to read and talk at the same time. I've only been here for your recent videos because I was 3 when you started your channel. And I only found in the last year, but I love watching all of your videos. And they have a lasting impact. Thank you so much. You were 3! When I started. Wow! I feel really old now. Wow. Okay, that's cool. Welcome to the channel. I'm glad you like the content and things like that. And like, that's so cool. That's so cool. Can I just tell you, over the summer at my job, we had some interns, and one of them was 14, like you, Zosio. And she was talking about music that she liked, and she mentioned this artist, Hayley Kiyoko. And I was like, oh, I was in a Hayley Kiyoko music video. And she's like, what? And she like started freaking out. She's like, which one? Which one? And she had to like go look it up. And then all the high school interns were like so impressed. They were like, wow, Aaron's famous. It was really funny. But I found a lot of people through that video. It was an amazing experience. Like that's just one of the ways that the videos have changed my life. You know, like not only did I get my job working in the trans community, specifically because of my experience on YouTube, my activism that turned into led to another job, and now I'm, you know, like in music videos or famous or whatever. I don't know. I call it like I'm slightly internet famous. That's the way I usually describe it. And when people are like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's very specific. Don't worry about it. So people usually find it. You just have to Google me. Oh yeah, you found me through Hayley. Yeah, see? Like that was a big thing. That was amazing to me, because I got to connect with a whole new generation of really amazing people, and I get to experience life with them, and that's fun. That's just fun. And I love that so much. So welcome. But so that's part of why I still like making videos, and I still try and make time for it, even when I can't actually make a lot of time for it. A comment from John Joe says, I found you while looking up trans-related items on the internet. Yeah, actually, that's how a lot of people found me. And I mean, that's amazing, because the internet, capital I, is vast. That thing is incredible. It's so big. And at the same time, it has, how are people supposed to find me? It's like an ocean out there. And I feel like somehow I'm like a whale in the ocean. Like I'm still small and compared to the ocean, but like that, I don't know. I still have a hard time wrapping my mind around it. Dance Woman 1 says, been watching you for many years. Wonderful to see how far you've come. Congratulations on all of it. Thank you so much. That's one of the things too that's actually really fun for me, is that I can look back and I can see how far I've come. So when I start to think like, oh, I'm just stagnating, I'm not making any progress in my life, I'm stuck, I can go look at my early videos and say, wow, okay, I've changed a lot. Things are moving forward. It's been 7 years, John Doe says, so you've been around a long time. Jade Puppy says, I found you back when I was first coming to terms with my transness. That is a beautiful term, transness. I have a lot of that, a lot of transness in my body and my life and my experience. And that's one of the amazing things too, is the point in people's lives where I have the opportunity to reach out and touch their life and have an impact. It's the moment, like, when people need support, right? People are out there and they're starting their own transition, or they're going through their own experiences, and you reach out the same way I did when I first started, and you want to find out, am I the only one? Because like for my whole life I thought I was the only one, until I realized I wasn't. And the fact that I get to help thousands of people around the world see that is amazing. It's incredible. Ellie Dance says, remember your experiment with bangs? Yep, back when I had bangs, and then they grew out and they grew out and they grew out, and I hated bangs. I really did. That was about 6 years ago, I think. Yeah, it was, I think I just moved to San Francisco, so it must have been 6 years ago. Yeah, wow. So it's awesome that there's so many people who are here in the chat who have been with me for so long. I really appreciate it. I really do. One of the greatest things that of my whole life, specifically in relation to this channel, has been the connection that I have with other trans people in the community that we've been able to build together. I can point to Ice Cold Bath, who's come up in the chat already. She and I connected, and like 10 or 11 years ago on YouTube, and we've stayed in contact since. I can think of Chrissy or Z or Star or Karmatic or so many other people. Like I can't even name them all. There's so many of people who I've met, who like Isaac, who there was a young trans boy in New York who he was 11 when I met him in 2008. I mentored him while I was in New York, and last time I was in New York, we met back up. He's in college now. We went out for a drink. Like, that's cool. So this I don't know, like the connection, the community, the ability to know that you're not alone. That has been a really rewarding experience for me. I hope it's been rewarding for you. I really, I don't know if I can really express how much it's changed my life. But I hope that you're understanding a little bit of it. What else did I want to talk about today? I talked about school. I talked about work, which were two things I haven't talked about a lot. I talked about why videos are so important to me, the way that they've changed my life. Morgan is delightful. You're right. Stellar just pointed out Morgan is delightful, strong for you. I can't even tell you. Morgan and I, like, she is my rock. I love her so much. And I actually I saw a comment. It was today actually that I saw it, that I made on some post on Facebook back in like 2010, and it was just after Morgan and I had gotten married. And like I made some post or something. I made a prediction. I was like, I bet in the next 10 years, marriage equality will be the law of the land. And like 2 years later, it was. But yeah, she's amazing. Like everyone needs their own Morgan. Somebody who will love you, who will support you, who will have your back. That's amazing. But that's not to say it's always the easiest thing. We've been married now since 2009. We've been together since well before that. Spending over a decade of your life with just one person can be a lot. Ask anyone who's been married a long time and they'll tell you the amount of work that goes into really maintaining those relationships. And Morgan and I have had to put in a lot of work, and we've done it because we know that we're there for each other and we support each other. I'm glad that you all get a chance to see what some of that support looks like from her. I remember for so long, she just hated being on camera with me. She hated it a lot. But she would come and do videos every once in a while if I like pulled her leg and like really tried to get her to do it. And now like my channel ad or whatever on the main YouTube page that you watch, like that's me and her going ice skating, and that was her idea for that video. So like she's come around to it a lot too, which has been really cool. John Doe says, I felt different, but didn't know why. When I was 13 or 14, my parents caught me wearing a bra. That made life interesting. My parents sent me to a counselor to see if I was gay or bi. I can relate a lot, actually. My whole life, growing up, I would do the whole, they call it binging and purging, but it's not with the food, it's with women's clothes. It's like I would go out, because I lived in Utah at the time. The only way for me to get women's clothes was to either steal them from my mom, but they never fit because she was bigger than me, because I was young, or steal them. And so I would steal a lot of women's clothes. I would shoplift women's clothes because it was just the only way that I could get it. I feel bad about it. I wish I didn't. I wish I hadn't had to steal to do it, because I don't like stealing. I don't like being that kind of a person. Um, but that was so long ago. I was in such a different place. I would pile them up. I would save them. And every once in a while I would feel so much guilt and resentment towards myself for these desires that I was having to be a girl, to dress like a girl, to be feminine, that I would say never again. And I would take it all and I'd throw it away. And the next day, I would just say, why did I do that? Now I have to steal all these clothes again. And the whole time, I thought I was the only person in the whole world who was feeling like this. And right here, right now in chat, we can verify I wasn't. And neither were you. Like, this is a common experience. I remember, there was a couple times where my mom found some of her clothes in my room that had gone missing, and she sort of confronted me about it and was like, I found these here, just wanted to let you know. And I was like, oh my God, I was mortified. I was terrified. And then months later, when more clothes would go missing from her closet, she would come to me and she'd say, sure do miss that blouse. If it happens to appear in my closet, I'd be really happy about it. And sure enough, the next day it would appear and I'd be like, I don't know what happened. It wasn't me. Definitely not me. I must have just misplaced it or something. It was me. It was definitely me. And it was no secret that it was me in the house. I thought I was being so secretive. Yeah, man, those were different times. It's reached the point, because I'm 33 now, and I came out when I was 19. So in just a few years, I will have lived as a woman for half my life. And after that, I will have lived the majority of my life as a woman. That is a point that I never thought I would reach in my life. And to be here and to be able to share that with all of you is incredible. So at this point, I've been going on for like 43 minutes and 15 seconds exactly. So I'll ask the chat and I'll give it a second to catch up. Is there anything else that you would like me to talk about today? Anything you want to hear about? I have maybe 5-10 minutes more and then I gotta get going. But I had a little bit of time and I was like, oh my gosh, it's been so long. Let me just hop on and see what's going on. So if you have things you want to know, comments you want to share with me, things like that, now's your time. Reach out. I know there's a bunch of you here. And I've really appreciated some of the different comments and things like that. People in the chat, thanks for being here and for participating with me. Jade Puppy asks, what's my favorite food? That's a great question. I would have to think about it. When I was a kid, it was shepherd's pie. That was like the thing I would request when it was my turn to request. And at this point, I might say it would be like a fish taco, like a really good fish taco. Not like, and there are bad fish tacos out there. There are a lot of bad fish tacos. But if you can get a real good one, that's like my favorite. Do you have any road trips planned? That's a good question. I might have some interesting trips planned. Morgan and I are, the holidays are coming up and things like that. We have Thanksgiving coming up, and we're looking at doing some backpacking, which should be really exciting. Trying really just get out into the wilderness, get away from the world and people, and get some silence and spend some time just the two of us. So I'm really looking forward to that. For Christmas, we're looking at going out and seeing my family, which, that's another thing I never thought I'd be saying. The fact that my relationship with my family has come so far, and I've got to share that with you. So we're thinking about driving out there because it's, just a 13-hour drive, or we could take a really expensive flight but we figure why not drive? So we might be doing that. It's not super exciting because you end up going through Nevada on I-80, so you don't even hit Vegas. You hit Reno, and you're like, oh, it's like shitty Vegas. So, or Elko, and you're like, this is like shitty Reno. So who knows how exciting it will be. Plus, it'll be to go see my family. So as much as I love them, that can also be, I sometimes like to call it an obligation, where you are technically on vacation, but you are maybe not on vacation. Let's see what else. Still rock climb, asks Tony. Hey, Tony. Nice to see you. I still rock climb all the time. I have calluses all over my hands. I'm not sure if you can see it. I think I have a bruise here, which is a weird one. You should see my knees. They look like leopards because it's just spotted with bruises. But I climb all the time. And climbing is one of those things that it's like my passion. I love it. Check this out really quick. See that? There. That's my hangboard. So like I can do things like this. There you go. So that's fun, right? So I still do that all the time. Go climbing a few times a week with Morgan and with my friends. But it's something I didn't think I could ever do until I actually had my bottom surgery in 2011. Sorry, that got me breathing hard. A big part of that was, you know, if you have this harness that's like right here, and you're hanging up in the air off of this rope, and it's like pulling back, and you can see everything when you're wearing tight pants and in a harness, and you're sort of dangling at eye level for people. So I was like, I don't feel real comfortable doing this. It's the same reason I didn't do yoga a lot when I was pre-op, because I just didn't feel comfortable in my body. I felt like I couldn't do that sort of thing. So still do it, still love it. Morgan's doing it with me. It's a big part of our lives, and really loving it. Thanks for asking. Still have a second channel just dedicated to rock climbing, so if you want to find that, it's on my main channel. Caroland says, hey girl, I just wanted to let you know, 7 years ago, you were one of my first trans YouTubers I ever watched and who helped me begin my transition. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. I am honored to have played any part in that. I can't take any credit because I give all the credit to you, but the fact that I got to participate somehow is incredible, and I feel honored. Thank you for sharing that with me. She goes on to say, you inspired me to begin my own YouTube channel. Woo! And I am forever grateful. Thank you for always being yourself and being awesome. Love you. Love you too. I remember, I think it was my 13th video. I made a video saying it was a challenge. It was a challenge. And, you know, I still remember it was like written down in fast motion, and I'd like hold it up into the screen and stuff. And it was basically a challenge. It was saying like, look, if I can do this, anyone can do this. And I still hold that same thought in my head. This doesn't take a lot to just sit here and talk. And it's had immeasurable benefits in my own life. So I highly recommend it for everybody. But if I can do it, anyone can do it. And there were a bunch of people who started making videos because of that video. And some of them still make videos today. Like, that's amazing. That's cool. So very cool, Carolina, that you made videos and that I got to help inspire that in some way. Zosia says, I wasn't paying attention, and then suddenly you were upside down and I got confused. And you know what? That's fine. Sometimes you just got to go upside down and you know, get a new perspective on life. And so that's what I was doing. Stellar says, the fires in Northern California were scary. I hope you didn't have any negative impacts for that. It was pretty scary. It was really, really smoky in the Bay Area, to the point where people were walking around with masks on their mouth because of or I guess like this on their nose, because it was so toxic, the smoke. There was a trans woman who I know through YouTube who was actually evacuated because of the fires. And, you know, I reached out to her personally and I was like, hey, if you need a place to stay, if you need anything, let me know. And, you know, that's, to me, that's what community is about. It's about being there when people need you the most. And you all have been there for me when I needed it the most. So I want to return that. She didn't end up needing to take me up on the offer because her house didn't end up burning down and she was able to return a couple days later. But, you know, that's what community is about. And, yeah, it was scary. And, you know, in the end, I think me and the people that I know and care about were safe, but it was a real tragedy, and it still is for a lot of people. Studio Gallifrey, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, says, Heart, you're amazing, Aaron. I'm a year and a half into my transition, and you helped me a lot. Aaron. Oh, great name. Great name. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad that I got to help out some way. I remember being a year and a half into my transition and just feeling like I would never, ever make it to where I'm at today. Like that just seemed like so far off, that it was so abstract that it would never happen. And, you know, you can stick with it. You know, and if you do, you get there. You don't even have to do anything. Time just passes, and before you know it, you're here. So, I mean, that's a little oversimplified, but, you know, keep it up and you'll get to where you want to go. So I'm glad that I got to help out with that. Transcendent Studio says, I used to make videos. It takes a long time to animate videos. You were one of my early inspirations, and you are right. I have a little, you know, I think 2 animated videos on my channel. They're like 30 seconds long, and they took me so long to make. Yeah, it takes a real long time. Even just regular videos, any editing, like it really complicates the whole process, and it adds a lot. I don't know, like a lot of people don't understand how much work goes into it, because if you do it well, if you edit the video well, if you do all the production well, people won't notice. That's by design. So, you know, good on you for making videos, and, you know, I can definitely relate. She also says, you and Karmatic and Winter Win-Win. That's another one, yes. Win-Win. She and I are still in touch and hang out and stuff. Karmatic. You know, we've talked from time to time over the years and still have a lot of love and respect for each other, but have sort of moved on, I guess, into our own lives and things like that. But, you know, what an incredible thing that, like, that this group, you know, that we got to do that. Let's see. Zosia says, luckily, since there's rad trans/non-cis people like you and other people online, there's tons of resources when I realized I was non-binary, so thank you for helping to lead the way for that. You know, that's one of the things that I think is so powerful, but also so scary about the internet, is that you can find your community for anything. So we have a global trans community on the internet, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Reddit, on all these places. We have a global community that comes together, but then that also means that you can be targeted from anywhere. I noticed a lot last year, especially in the lead up to the election. I was getting trolled like crazy. And now I'm starting to think, was that Russian trolls? Were they paid? Like, what was going on? Because that all went away eventually. But, you know, it's sort of this beautiful, terrible thing, the internet. And, you know, we got to focus on the beautiful parts and try and mute the bad parts whenever we can. Andrew Griffin says, your videos have always been awesome, and you have always been inspiring to me. 6 years into transition, and there's only just getting to be hormones. Keep being awesome. For the mega big fan of yours. Thank you so much. Congrats on hormones. That is huge. That is big. So congrats on that. That's really exciting. That can be such a big change. I remember starting hormones, and the way that I described it at the time was that it went from feeling like I was a man dressed as a woman to feeling like a woman, period. So, um, I think that there's really a powerful thing there. That was how it felt at the time, and it's almost like I take it for granted. Like I haven't taken hormone pills in years, just because I don't feel like I need to at this point. But you know, it had such a profound impact on my life when that was what I was doing, and so I know that you're gonna have that same experience. And so, good luck and stay strong and let me know how it goes. Um, anyway, I gotta go. We're approaching an hour of being live on YouTube, and I gotta get to school because I have a class at 4 p.m. and it's just after 3. I want to thank everyone who stopped by today to share in this conversation and to take part in it with me. I want to thank everyone who's been here on this channel with me for so long, and especially the people who are new to this channel, who are new to this experience. Welcome. I hope that you feel loved and welcome here. So thank you so much for everyone. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm gonna hopefully have more free time in the future once school calms down, which should be early December, late November. So we got like a month more of craziness, and then maybe a little bit more time to spend with you and to really share my experience with you. So thank you so much to everyone. Really, really enjoyed this experience. I was missing it so much. I really was, and this just has made me so happy. So thank you so much. And until next time, I'm Grishno, and I will see you later.